Do you not know the difference between a begonia and the back of your hand? Do you think a hydroton is a modified Ford pickup truck that can drive in water? Well, don't worry, no judgment here. This is a safe space. This video is for people who don't know a single thing about indoor plants, but they want to know, they want to learn. Do you want to learn? Let's grow. Hello and welcome to Botanical Woman. My name is Dan. Today, Christine is behind the camera, and I will be your ambassador to all things basic about indoor plants. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't hesitate to share it with someone you know who needs to learn the basics of indoor plants. Now let's start with a definition. What is an indoor plant, also known as a house plant? Well, it's a plant that lives inside a house. Yay! It's that simple. That doesn't mean any plant likes being an indoor plant though. Some are much pickier than others, preferring to lounge on the beach all day in the sun. Many are from tropical climates requiring conditions more akin to their place of origin. If you're thinking about getting your first plant, you'll want to learn its specific care needs. What are those care needs? Let's dive in. Unlike humans who can survive on pizza and beer, plants need 4 things to survive: oxygen, light, water, and nutrition. Oxygen is the easiest since it's all around us. Just look at it. Nice, right? Just don't stick your plants in a sealed box for weeks on end and they should be fine. Nothing special here. Just make sure they can breathe and keep them away from drafts so they don't get chilly. Light, unlike oxygen, is trickier than it might seem. In their natural habitat, plants get a lot of light. Way more than you might think. Unlike humans, they've been much slower at evolving to live indoors and stare at screens all day. Your best bet to start is by putting your plant right by a window. Different plants will need more or less light, and you will need to check what is recommended for your particular plant though. As I said previously, some love being in direct sun, while others prefer more indirect light. Either way, too much light and the leaves will burn. Too little and it'll start stretching out and reaching for the little light it can see. Both can be a problem if left unchecked for too long, so it's good to check on your plant at least once a week to see how it's doing. You should also be aware that plants can be very sensitive. Some don't even like being moved around. Others take time to acclimate to changes. Something like a snake plant may enjoy a few hours of direct sunlight, but if you don't take things slowly, it'll burn and look very sad. Also, don't put your plant right next to an AC or heater. It's no different than for humans. It might be nice to sit in front of an AC for a bit on a hot day, but sitting there too long will turn you into an ice cube. Plants can't get up and move when they get hot or cold, but they can get very, very unhappy with you. Watering your plant may seem straightforward, but there's also a lot of nuance here as well. For starters, don't water your plant every day or simply mist it to get the leaves damp. When you water, be sure to give it a good drink, then leave it alone for a while. A good rule of thumb is to water until you see it go pee-pee. See water leaking out of the drainage hole. Give it about a week, then check the soil. Don't be afraid to get a little dirty. Stick your finger in there and wiggle it around a bit. If it's dry, now's a good time to water again. If it's still wet, you can give it a few more days. Shouldn't take long before you can figure out a regular watering routine. Watering needs will vary depending on the time of year. During the growing season of spring and summer, plants are generally getting more light and require more water. In the fall and winter months, they'll get by with less. So for example, if you were watering every 7 days in spring and summer, you can probably get away with watering every 14 days when the days are shorter. This will make it less likely you'll see yellowing leaves. The most basic level, if you over or underwater any plant to an extreme, it'll die. Overwatering is the leading cause of death among houseplants in the US. When their roots stay too wet for too long, they will rot. If you underwater, you're more likely to be able to save the plant with some swift care. Finally, plants require nutrition, but food for plants is a lot different than food for humans. Plants get most of their nutrition from the sun, which is generally superior to how we do it, as long as you hang out by a window for a while each day. Plants also get nutrition from their potting medium and fertilizer, but think of these more as supplements than something that's necessary for survival. Many plants will be perfectly happy for a long time without any fertilizer. Like my pothos Gary, for example. I got Gary in 2007, didn't repot him until 2009, and didn't give him no fertilizer until like 2019, and he's been fine. If you want to fertilize your plant, that's fine too. Just stick with a less is more strategy. You don't want to overdo it. Fertilizing during the growing season may supercharge their growth, but it's not necessary during the winter months. Having plants in your home can be a wonderful thing. If you're thinking about getting your first, I highly recommend giving it a try. I hope this video has been helpful and made you smile. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Christine or I will be certain to respond. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy growing.